him to be here because I was.
All
I
right,
know he's
we're
at home.
recording.
I know he's at home because I talked to him yesterday.
He might be doing a job.
Yeah, he might be.
Yeah, he said he does more income earning stuff, hanging prints and stuff for people than he does selling them sometimes.
Well,
Barry, how are you doing?
he better show up because I have nothing to say today.
Well,
I'll drink to that.
I'm not answering any questions. I'll
not
make
even how you
statement.
doing, huh?
Oh,
What,
you don't want to hear.
what's your name?
Mine?
Yeah.
Uh, Wait a minute. Let me find a name tag and I'll tell you.
There you go.
Actually, uh,
That's Albert Einstein.
you think? Not yet.
No, his hair's too short.
Yeah,
It's not
pretty
long enough
close.
yet.
What's wrong with this guy not picking up his damn?
Well, I can say something. I can say something.
Okay.
I yeah, I broke through my the barrier and I'm actually making pots, throwing
Good
pots.
job. Good job, Barry.
Way to
But
go, Barry.
When's your
but
next show, Barry?
I don't know. I'd have to go to Zap to find out. Sometime in May.
So, Barry, I got a pottery story for you.
Cool.
I tried some brand new black clay Laguna Azabachi. It's a cone 5, but I forgot to read the directions and I'm always firing cone 6. So, the first time I fired it at cone 6 and it all bloated. So, this
Really?
time,
Wait a minute.
yeah,
No, that's not what the bloating's from.
well, that's what they told me. There's manganese in there. So, this
Manganese.
week,
Yeah. That's
right.
scary. Why would you do that? Because manganese is toxic.
Well, that's what I thought. Don't do that. So this week, I still had some, but I misfired it at 05 and then I cone fired it at 5. But I just got back from Nebraska being with my mom. So I really only had 1 week to get ready for a show, which is not a good in pottery world, as you know. And so in the bisque kiln, I blew up about 5 pots because they were just too wet, even though I did like a 6 hour preheat. It was crazy.
What? A
I
six
know,
hour
I've never,
preheat and it blew up? That's not,
yeah, I've
no,
never
that
done
doesn't
that.
happen.
It happened. So,
Oh, God. You
so
should have waited
then,
another day
exactly, exactly. And,
or
but
three
the
or
rest of
three.
it, the rest of the pieces that made it, which was more than what blew up, I went ahead and glazed, and this time I fired them at cone 5, and they turned out beautiful. So now I'm trying to decide: do I stick with this, trying this black Ajabaji clay for my, July show because I'll have a lot of the time this time, or do I chuck it and say, this is way too temperamental?
I
And you
wouldn't
don't
use it.
have to answer that if you don't want to.
No, I'm thinking about it. No, I would say it depends. I don't think I would use it because it's too much of a hassle. It's too much trouble.
Well,
I'm
it's
concerned
weird
about the
because,
manganese because it is
yeah,
toxic and
okay,
when you fire that, it's going to volatilize. I mean, there's going to be some of it in the air, So that's probably not good for you unless you don't care.
Well, when I fire, it's out in the garage, and we have a huge fan. It's the garage roof is like 14 feet. It's like a barn garage, and there's a fan at the top that pulls all the air out. So I'm not really getting, it's not like a small little kiln room, but is it safe?
No.
I'm not making dinnerware. I'm only making sculpture too, so it's not dinnerware. But maybe that's not safe even there.
Well, it reminds me of long time ago when I thought, hey, I'm going to fume some pieces. What you do is fuming is you throw the chemicals into the like on a shelf when it's, you're firing it so it's up to, I don't know, 1300, 1500 degrees. So at some point you put it in there and I used tin chloride and nobody's favorite silver nitrate,
Oh my.
which is like silver is the thing that you would put on your doorknob if you had crooks come because as soon as you touch it, your skin turns black. It's really it's really cool. No, I don't know about that, but so okay, so I stuck it in there, and all of a sudden I have this metallic taste, and I ran as far away from it as possible, and I was firing outside, and that was it because just thought of that, the volatilized metals, breathing and coating your lungs probably isn't a good thing.
Right.
So I'm wondering, so I'm wondering about the manganese, but okay, now that's one side of it. The other side would be, um, well, Laguna decided, somebody at Laguna said, "Hey, this will be a good idea. Let's make some black clay." How does it fire? Does it look black when it's fired?
Absolutely. And I did it because I was selling so much black porcelain, but black porcelain is even soupier than white porcelain. And so I like to work big, and you just cannot work big in black porcelain. So I tried wedging black iron oxide into clay. I didn't like the look of it.
Well,
And
that's not going
so,
to end up being black.
right,
It'll be red or green. It's not going to be, it's just because it looks black. I mean, there's black copper oxide too, but it doesn't,
right.
you know,
So I was looking for a black clay body, and I get everything down at
no.
Armadillo in Austin. Armadillo, they carry a lot of clay bodies, like probably 20. So I asked them what was their blackest, and it was this Laguna Azabachi. Well, come to find out, when you go online, like I'm talking every Facebook page, every forum on Reddit, I searched everywhere. Nobody is talking about this clay. It's like it's the invisible clay. So maybe that's why. Maybe so many people have tried it and just swore it off. But
Probably,
when
they're probably
I,
giving you a message. Plus, I don't know, I like white clay, so
mhm.
I suppose
Well,
black,
I use white porcelain, and I use Cinco Blanco, Cone 5 Cinco Blanco.
black clay might be okay, but Uh, you could probably get the same result with a black slip over whatever clay you're using, on the
Yeah.
surface before you put a glaze, I know that when you do sort of a lizard glaze, a textured glaze that breaks
Uh-huh.
up, it's cool to put a black slip, maybe a mason stain, on the surface.
And there's a
Much like,
second part to that too, because it takes me a whole day. I mean, well, maybe not a whole day, but a good half a day to clean up my studio enough to switch from the black back to my white porcelain and white
oh.
Cinco
That
Blanco,
would be
because
that would be another thing that would keep me from doing that. That's
yeah,
right. It would get all in my studio, it'd get all over everything, including me.
right.
It
So
would mess up
I
my
have a
clay.
second set of tools. I have a separate wedging table. I mean, you can't jump back and forth successfully unless you have equal amounts of everything. And I only have one potter's wheel, so I have to scrub it down good. Anyway,
Well, I'm not going to do that.
Is
So you don't
that,
have anybody who likes a different black clay. I just thought maybe you knew of one that some people like. I don't know.
is it the same type of clay as the Mexican black clay?
I don't know. I haven't heard of Mexican black clay.
Oh, yeah,
The,
it's Oaxacan, uh, same place those real fancy, dresses and so on, embroidered dresses are. Um,
Okay.
let's see if I was looking
okay,
for
Katie.
Maro Negro.
Hey,
Yeah,
Katie.
yeah,
There's something that's causing the clay to be black.
yeah.
And
Well,
like in this case, it's manganese. But you can have any clay formula and just add the black to that, and make it black.
But you'd do it in a pug mill, I'm guessing, and then you'd have a mess in your pug mill. Like
No,
you know what I mean? Or you just wedge it in.
I'm not doing either. I'm not doing any of
I
that.
know.
That's
I
too much
know.
work.
I do think the idea of doing a black slip might be a good idea. And
I know that people do
because
that.
I like matte. I like matte finishes. That's the problem.
Okay, I have a question. My last shows were horrific uh, because nobody liked the work, but it was mostly the colors. Um, and I didn't know what colors to, I was doing something new and something different. So I always liked purple, so I did purple, and then I do this other thing that ended up being tangerine. But I did something that I would normally not do, and that's use something that I have no idea how it's going to turn out. So I did this, and I went to Florida, and nobody liked the nobody liked the work, and I didn't lose money on this trip, but I didn't make any money. Okay, so now it's like, do I want to drive 5 hours and get my premium special raku clay that allows me to do anything I want, or 5 hours one way and 5 hours back? And I went, no way. I'm using up all the clay, and now I'm here uh, with that mid-range white clay, and I need somebody to tell me what colors to make so that to match people's homes, so they'll buy this stuff.
Well, I can tell you about that because I do interior design all the time.
Okay.
Seriously, right now there's actually a website that you can get the top design colors for the whole United States, and it's important to do the United States and not the world because there's different pockets of the world that will throw it. There's way more people living other places than the US.
Yeah.
But in the US, the number one is blues. All blues are great. And I talk to a lot of artists, they sell out of their blue stuff every time. But right now, this particular snapshot in time, black is right next to blue, like
Oh
almost the
God.
same. And neutrals by far. And it takes about three or four, like then it goes into like the creams. It takes about three or four colors before people want something bright. So when I heard other artists say, well, I don't sell well in Florida because I don't have bright stuff, I was like, I don't know, maybe Florida's the holdout then.
Well, that's somewhat true, but it is not totally true. But if you can have bright colors, you need to have blue instead of purple. I just always wanted to do purple. I wasn't thinking that they wouldn't sell. I'm great.
Well,
Okay, okay, my work's
you
not that
have
great,
any
but
blues? You have any blues that you like as well as purple?
I don't know. I'll just pick one. I mix my own glazes. I don't buy commercial glazes, so
Right.
I'll just mix a glaze.
Okay. Well, what
Maybe
I was
maybe
going
I'll
to
get
say
maybe I'll
is,
get Roy to mix my glazes for me. Roy, why don't you come up here and mix my glazes?
Hey, just
I'll,
mail me a plane ticket. I'll be there.
I'll just sit here and I'll show you. I'll like tell you what to do.
Tell me what to do, man. I'll help you out.
what
So, yeah.
temperature are you firing?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, well, there's I'm doing cone six, or cone five, cone six. So I was fired at cone six instead of cone
Any
five.
electric reduction or electric?
Oh, electric.
Okay, so
I don't have the
there's a
means to
lot
do.
of
I don't have the
booths.
means to do.
Reduction.
If I could have access to a gas kill, I'm great at conine reduction firing. You know,
Yeah,
you know, but I don't, and that's a trick unto itself. I mean, that you have to, it's how you fire it and how you cool it. Well, same thing with
right.
electric, actually, except there's no reduction, although there could be reduction. I tried to, there's this thing called chemical reduction, and I know somebody that does it really, really, is really does well with it. But I didn't know what to do until after I used it. If that makes any
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Because it's actually to get a reduction, you get let's see, it's what the hell is it? So, I forgot what it is, but it has to be ground really fine. It has to be like 300 or 400 mesh, and you only use a small percentage, which I didn't know. I just threw it, I just used it, which I didn't get any results. Well, actually, I got results, but it was all bubbled. It didn't work. And
Gotcha.
then
Huh.
afterwards, I realized that I found out that you just use a small amount, and it has to be really fine.
Well, I don't know if this is a question for everybody, but and maybe Roy's wife would have um, some thoughts. But when you market your work, when you set it up in the art show, do you group according to color? Because I typically do, but I try to make things that I can lead into the next thing. Like I'll do blacks and neutrals with the end of that having a little bit of blue in it that leads into some blues so that everything kind of in the end people could cross pollinate with the colors they like. Or does everybody just kind of have one palette for their whole booth?
I hope you're not asking me because I have no idea.
I
Set
think
up because I think that's super important.
You
yeah,
should.
Marianne doesn't. She does not put same colors on the same wall. She does break it up. Um, so she'll do like a blue and see, but she paints. It's like she never uses black. She uses this really deep, rich blue um, that almost looks
Bright
black.
navy, dark navy.
And then so she'll do like blues, and then she's got a couple that she's got one that's got a real fiery orange and red to it, and so she'll break it up accordingly. And she does it. Um, she kind of does it by size too, but she never puts all of her blues on one wall. They start
So
running
it's like
together. She said,
groupings, like she does groupings
"Yeah,
together.
yeah."
Okay. Yeah, because I think everybody's a little bit different how they what makes their work look mostly successful. So if you're
Yeah,
trying to switch colors, sometimes you have to blend what you have with what you're adding. Like I never empty my whole booth. I'm always, I have some inventory and I'm adding some more and
if you go to her website and then you
mm-hmm.
look at the top of the page on her menu bar, it says upcoming shows. There's some booth shots on that, and then if you go to past shows, there's some more booth shots.
You should
And
try to
it's
place things together that will sell together.
yeah.
What if you don't have any motivation anymore and you don't care?
Well, then stay home and watch porn.
Um,
Stay home and
you
save
know,
money.
you need money to be able to watch porn. So I have to do the show. I still have to do the shows. I'm trapped.
For me, I do it thematically, and most of the people like at Comic-Con sort of do the same thing, either that or where it will fit on the panel that they're hanging art on.
Okay.
You have a 4x4 panel and you have to arrange it somehow. Some people just jam in as much as they can and others arrange it so all the Pokemon stuff is here and Zelda is here and Spider-Man over here,
Yeah.
so thematically. There is a potter that sometimes sends stuff, and if it's not all broken by the time it gets to us, because he doesn't seem to want to pack it properly, it usually is set up so all the Middle Earth stuff is in one place, and then some of his other stuff is in another. But
Gotcha. Roy, what's your website on Family Home? I can put it in my
you're
room.
breaking up.
You're
Yeah,
breaking
you're
up.
breaking up. Try
Oh,
that again.
sorry. What's your wife's website?
It's Maryann, Marianne, one word. PALM as in Mary, GREN as in Nancy, Palm Brain, Marianne Palmbrain.com.
Okay.
Yeah, she's really happy about my name.
Because it's harder to spell, but it's not, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So she even has a color filter on her website. Yeah.
She's got what now?
She has a, if you go to the main page, she has a color filter
Yep,
on the
exactly.
website.
Yeah, we that has been a really good success for Marianne because when somebody's doing, um, they're trying to figure out what kind of art they're going to use for their designing, a room or whatever. And the nice thing is when you click on any of the paintings, there's a you can kind of put it in a room, whether it's a bedroom, kitchen, and then you can adjust the color of the wall. So it's pretty nice.
It's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've had a lot of good success from it.
Yeah. So it has a wall preview
Yep.
and
And
yeah,
then
that's interesting.
and then you could actually do 3D. Um, if you're using an iPhone or an iPad, you can just select a photo and then you can see what it looks like in your own room, your own home.
Right. So this is art storefronts. Does anybody else use art storefronts? That's a tool that like it's kind of expensive, isn't it? Art storefronts or no?
It was expensive. Well, we got in, so I can put unlimited amount of artwork on her website. And what I've done is I've changed her site 3 different times because they've got a template. So we went with the dark background because what that does is it kind of matches her booth because of the black furrow panels, and I think it makes her artwork pop out. But when we started it was $3,800, the initial cost. It's $59 for them to host it every month, and then I could just upload as many pieces of artwork as I want to. It's unlimited.
Gotcha. Do you sell a lot off the website then between shows?
We probably have been doing it about just about one to two, and so it's like, it'll be a $500 purchase, or we had one that was a $1,300 purchase. They purchased it was a canvas print frame. I think it was like $1,300. Um,
Hmm.
so I mean that pays for it for the year. So it has paid for itself every year. We're very very lucky.
I think it makes sense with painting. Like with pottery, I don't know that it would make sense because I only make one of everything I make.
Yep, exactly. Yeah,
So I'm not even a
I
production potter. So yeah. But I think
I
with
agree.
painting, when they can sell prints, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it really does. It does help.
There should be laws against selling prints.
Yeah, they don't buy prints of our pots, do they, Barry?
Listen, when I can have my pieces made in Thailand or Taiwan, uh, then the people that do prints can have their prints. Until then, it's one of a kind, baby.
That's right,
Right?
baby.
Exactly.
You know, I don't believe there is a Mary Ann. I think Roy just gets on here and talks, and even at the show, like he hides her. There's no Mary Ann.
You
It's
should
just
just come by
Roy.
the booth. Just come by the booth.
I'm too busy. I'm too busy doing nothing in my booth.
Yep. Well, there's a photo of her on the website.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
looked at it.
yeah.
She is alive.
You can take you can you can go out on the street and take a photo of somebody.
That's
Why
right,
go
with
on the
AI.
street? Just go on the
AI.
I
internet.
tried, you know what? I tried to shame him into making her come on
See?
this site, on this thing, and he still didn't happen.
Nope. Can't do it.
Well, anyway, you probably have more of the business insight for the team than Marianne probably does, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, we made an agreement. She would paint, and I would do everything else. So
Wow.
Hey, I could use
So I
somebody
need
like
you
you.
to, yeah, that's exactly right. I would need you to talk to my husband.
well, this was my dream. I told her I wanted after teaching for 25 years, I wanted her to start painting and do artwork. And then I said, "Oh, let's find out about doing art shows." She's like, "Okay, I'll make a deal with you. I'll
Yeah.
paint. You do everything else."
Right?
She has the harder job.
Oh, I get it. So the weekend
Yeah.
you're in St. James Court, I'm going to be trying that Albuquerque show for the first time. Well, actually, it's the next weekend in October. Has anybody ever done the Albuquerque show during the balloon festival?
I
Uh,
talked to the people that ran it once.
I tried it in 1984.
Okay, that's been a
When,
bit,
Larry?
right?
84.
80. All right.
That's been a bit. I bet
Yep.
it's changed a little.
Well, it
Was
had
it
back then, the only time that there were people there is at sunrise.
I
right?
Now they're there all day long.
believe that. Oh, that's great. Wouldn't that be great, lady? You get there, you're tired, like people are annoying you, and then they go away. So you have to stand there the whole rest of the day doing nothing. Wow, that'd be fun.
Oh, man, that's brutal.
Well, they claim they get 20,000 people through there during the middle of the day because the balloons go up at sunrise and sunset, and the art shows in between from 9 to 5. So we'll see. But now they say there's 800,000 people that come to town. So surely some of those people like art. And the Sandia Resort is full, and that's where we have it. It's indoor basically because they set up a huge tent in the parking lot.
How long is the drive for you?
So we'll see. 10 hours. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I'm just going to try it once. I have a gal that did it for years and she said it was great except the cost of the housing. So I'm still working on that. I literally tried Airbnb. I signed up for a couple. They sent me a note saying, "Yeah, it was open on the site, but it's really not." So, and I can't stay at the Sandia. It's $600 a night at the Sandia. I'm not
Wow.
doing that. So I'm saying if I decide Bayou City, that's the same weekend in Houston, but I wanted to try it. So we'll see. From what I hear, New Mexico is a great place to sell pottery, but there's a lot of potters too. So we'll see how that goes.
Last year, Marianne did Spoleto here locally in Charleston, a 16-day show. And she had somebody come through and bought a paper print from her that lived in Santa Fe.
Okay.
And she said, and well, the couple said that Santa Fe is a big abstract town. We
That's what
never
I
really looked
thought.
into it.
That's what I need is audiences that like abstract. That's my work is basically abstract, most of it.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, we'll
Yeah.
see. And then I'm going to Denver in July, so I'm trying to get into the Plaza Art Fair, but I don't think I'll get in.
We're gonna try to do the plaza next year because then I don't have to worry about taking 7 days vacation
I
trying to
know.
get there and back.
Right.
And so
Right. I have relatives in Kansas City, so I wouldn't take my husband. I would just go and have them help. So we'll see if I get in. We'll see.
we're gonna try to do the Plaza St. Louis. I think it was Oklahoma City. Was it Lakeview? Anyway, there's a couple of them up there.
Which one in Oklahoma City? Did they already close applications?
I don't know. I thought it was the one that
Well-
Court was going to.
Well, for this year,
Yeah.
it's the last weekend in April. It's over.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's done then. Because that's only 5 hours for me, Oklahoma City.
That's nice. My
Yeah.
brother's outside of I think he's outside of Santa Fe.
Well, Santa Fe is a big gallery town, so I don't know. And then it's on Booth Central where a lot of people on that part of the country have their stuff, not on Zap. And so I just kind of recently found that out. So I've been going back and forth now.
It's Booth Central.
Yeah,
Okay.
because a lot of people don't, but there's that big Ruidoso. Have you heard of that one in
No.
Ruidoso, New Mexico? And that one's supposed to be really good, but I have never been there, so I can't vouch. But it's the same weekend that I'm going to be up in Denver. So, but that deadline, you still have 3 days to that deadline, but that's supposed to be a really good show. It's just Ruidoso. They're in their 55th year, but out is what we're going to have in Denver. So we'll try the Denver one and see how it goes. I like Barry's philosophy last week. You got to go where there's the most people. You got a better shot.
That's it.
More,
That's where we want to go.
we'll see how that turns out.
Oscar, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good.
Oscar.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have nothing to say. Go Reds.
Go West, young man.
The Reds are doing really well. I like the team.
Minto.
Oh, there's a show in Ohio. Where is it? Cincy? Columbus. I think the Columbus show is supposed to be good too.
There is a show the second weekend in June in Columbus.
I think that's it.
Yeah. And there's one in Cincinnati as well. I did that 2 years ago, but it wasn't very good for me. I didn't like the layout. It was very confusing. Um, so I wouldn't apply to that again. I've never gotten into the Columbus one, but it's supposed to be very good.
So the Columbus one, are you talking about? It's called no, that's Cleveland Beechwood
Called the
Linwood.
Columbus. It's called the Columbus Art Fair or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, because there's a Columbus Winter Fair.
Yes.
That's different. That's an indoor
That's the
craft
one.
shop.
No, the one in June is different from the one in December.
Gotcha.
I think it's the June one. Somebody was mentioning it
Yeah.
at
It
New
looks like
Smyrna.
it's done. I mean, they must have already closed their
They already
applications.
announced the results. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oscar, have you ever done that show?
Uh, I got in. By the time I get into Old Town. So I am doing Old Town all the time.
Okay.
It's a volume show. Columbus, from what I understand, it's a volume show with uh with some buyers here and there. And what I mean volume shows that you sell stuff $1,000 or less.
That makes sense.
And a high clip. That's what I meant with that. I'm not saying it's a bad show or anything like that. It's that's what the most.
The
Sorry,
Columbus
I was late because although I keep thinking there's 4 o'clock Eastern time and I forgot I'm in Central time now.
You're back home in Chicago.
Well, you
Columbus
didn't miss much.
the Columbus shows till 10 o'clock and the restaurants close at 9. So
Mm.
it presents a certain problem if you're hungry at the end of the show, want to eat something before you go to bed.
Mm.
Pack a PB&J.
Or hang out with Allison because Allison always brings food.
Barry, what's your next show?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. It's Belleville, Illinois.
Okay.
You know what? I never answer those questions, but I don't know. I decided to, I'm having a weak moment, so I actually answered that question.
Okay.
Belleville,
Awesome.
Illinois, and then I'm going to see Oscar at St. Charles, which
Don't
I would
remind
recommend. Huh?
don't remind me.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, yeah. The director says that she tells me she needs another piece from me, so her and her daughter. So either she said that so that I would do the show, or actually that'll be good because it'll at least pay my expenses.
What's your price point range, Barry? Like, where do you start and where do you end? You don't have to be
175,
super specific.
175
Okay.
to 900, but it should be 1200. I'm just too chicken to charge that.
Hmm. See, and I started doing wall collage with ceramic, and they're letting me in supposedly. So, because up until that, I was 145 to 500. And now I'd still stuck with the 145 on the bottom, but I have pieces at 2,500, 3,500 in on the wall. But I've yet to sell any of them because my people that usually shop with me aren't looking for that. So I'm just breaking into that. So it'll be a few years before that catches on, I think. I did sell one though at my last show, and I'm hoping this weekend in Dallas to sell one or two. There's a lot of art collectors there.
Well,
We'll
good luck.
see. Yeah, it's going to be at the Arboretum. It's not the big one at Cottonwood, but I've never shown in Dallas, so we'll see what we got. Thanks.
You're welcome.
And I probably should come up with another show in September, but I haven't figured out where that would be. If I don't get into Kansas City, I should probably have a backup.
Hey, what do you do? Here's a situation. What do you do if you know two people that are judges on a show? You know them, you've known them for a long time, and then you don't get into the show. What do you like ignore them? Do you give them scowls? Do you just forget about it and you know, like what would you do?
Why would you think about that?
I can't answer that. I don't want to answer that question.
I mean, there are so many good artists applying to top shows.
So I don't know.
It's not who you know.
I
I think
wish
it
Court.
is.
I wish Court were on the call, because remember when Court had that meeting with the jury panelists that we talked about? It wasn't, I forgot the name of it. It's the American Association of, what is it? Anyway,
Naya.
AAI.
NAI.
Yeah, NAIA. National Association of Independent Artists. Did I get that
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yep.
Anyway, so we're on that Zoom, whatever, and somebody asked that question, and basically they were like, no, we, for one, they go through those images so fast, and they're just in the framework of, this is what I'm looking for and this is what I'm not looking for, and
Ugh.
picking the best for the first round to get through. So they said basically it really wouldn't matter if you knew them or not. They're just going to jury through. Now, I don't know if I believe that, because I know some people's work is fairly recognizable.
Barry, you could have called them before the jury.
You know, I
Yeah.
what's funny is I actually did that once and it was really it sounded like a good idea at the time, but it was really uncomfortable after I did that. I was like, oh no, because then you have to see them and what if you get rejected? It's best not to it's like avoid them. Don't even make eye contact until the judging's over because this it's a difficult thing, See, I think there's a bias. It's impossible to be a blind jury. You know the work.
Yeah, but is the bias about the quality of the work or about the people?
Well, it's about the people. You have to see
I,
them. They're your friends.
but
And
I
even
don't.
okay, even not, they're used to your work. So there's a comfort level. They know your work. On the other hand, you don't know how they really think about your work. Maybe they're just your friend, but privately they go, "Well, I really like that person, but his work sucks."
Yeah, but
So
maybe I've seen, he's my friend, but I've seen that work for a long time. Maybe it's time to introduce new work at the show.
there's an infinite amount of rationale for that. So, it could go any way.
Well, there's not too many shows where there's only one juror. So let's say your friend is one juror and he gives you the top score. There's two other jurors. So my guess is it's not your friend's fault if you don't get in. It might be the other jurors. Anyway,
Well,
I don't know.
the thing that
It's just a
matters
thought.
is
I know
what
what
kind
I
of.
would do.
I honestly think that if you know what kind of work those people that you're jurying like, even they are your friends, you know you don't want to get in or you're going to get in. Because I can tell you my personal experiences, Coconut Grove 2 years ago, I knew that I would get in because the people that were jurying uh, are my friends, but they like my work because they like my work. Then this year in Coconut Grove, most of the jurors are my friends, and I didn't get in because I know they like my work, but they don't think
So,
it's that high end compared to what they, because you can see, you have to see what kind of work they produce, and then you get an idea you're going to get in on what they think or don't think about what's good or what's bad. So, and it could be other people are better than you also. So there's a lot of factors. But you, if you know the person that likes your work, there's a chance that you might get in easier than other times.
I
Doesn't
think
mean you're
so.
going to get in, but you should be able to at least have a shot. With, like I know, for example, this one guy that the jury at Coconut Grove last year, and I knew I had no way in hell on getting in because I knew the person doesn't like my work. So
Yeah,
that's
just
my take on that.
one score, one low score on a three-man jury would probably throw it, right?
Yeah, even in a 5-man jury, a low score
Yeah.
would put you.
That's right.
One low score, say there's 5 jurors. One low score can put you in wait list.
That's what happened to us.
You know.
There were 4 jurors. We got a 5, 6, and a 5, and then a 2. Kicked us right out.
But it's, you know,
It's a
and the
crapshoot.
thing is, like, sometimes it's not about
Tom,
your
have a
work.
great day.
Sometimes it's not about your work. It's just, it is what it is, and it's nothing you can do about it. You cannot blame those people because you don't know. The bottom of the line is, at this stage, you should know that the other people have better presentation. The work resonate better with other people. It also, in which, if you're in the beginning of the jury process or the end of the jury process, if it's a long, big show, the applications, though, the jury process can take few hours. There's a lot of things going on. And I would, quite honest with you, uh, stress about it and think about it too much really doesn't help anybody. So I would just don't worry about it. It is what it is, and just let it be.
Yep.
End of the day, just do the shows that you get in and do the best you can. But unfortunately, that also means that your income might go down because you're not doing one of the shows that you really should be doing instead.
That's not good.
But that's just what I tell people. Don't think about it too much about it. It's not going to make
Yeah.
any good. That's
Well,
what I think about it.
there's so many variables in, getting into a show. I mean, obviously you want to have decent photos and you want to put your best foot forward, but at the end of the day, there's some people that just come off way more polished and professional, so
It's not that. It's just that you have to.
you just have to work through it.
I did in the last 2 weeks. I did Atlanta Dogwood, and then I did Fort Bridges, and I had some dead time like any other show. So I went around, photographed the booths, and did then asked ChatGPT to evaluate every single booth that I photographed. The the end of the day, what I was trying to figure out, what is the best way to present your booth and how what you should think about it. And this is something that Barry and I discuss a lot. Is you only have a few seconds to catch your attention of the juror. You only have 2 minutes to catch the person in front of your booth. So what you need to do really is, like it or not, somehow you have to hit the jurors in the face with your work.
Smack them.
and subtle images. Most of the time, anything subtle doesn't work so well. People say that's refreshing because you don't see the power all the time, but you start thinking about it, and when you look at the walk the shows, what you see in most of the shows, even outside of Florida, it's a lot of bright colors, impactful images, and images that makes you, oh wow, that's really cool. Oh, that's really up there, really weird stuff. And when you walk the show, really, what I discover is that the image in your left wall and right wall, the closer to the outside, those images have to be the most impactful images in the show. Because depending how, that's what the people are going to see first and second, and then the one in the back could be your subtle image. Even they say there should be a strong image in the back, but it should be one, two, three. Or if you have traffic like Madison, where it's only one direction, then you do the one where the people are facing. That's the one that is the most important one, followed by the one in the back, and then the third one because people don't see it. But that's the order you need to put it. And that's the same way you have to think about the jury. You have to have something that's going to catch attention as soon as they see it and stand over everybody else. The only problem that everybody's doing the same thing. Did that make
Right.
sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and I would maybe add to that. I've started putting a great big piece on the back wall, so my some smaller pieces closer to the front that really hook people, like a little L at the front of the booth with my pro panels, and put one smaller wall piece and a bunch of pottery right there that they basically can touch it as they walk by. And that pulled more people. And then I put my biggest piece on the back wall so that they could see it from the street. It wasn't a bunch of littles on the back wall. But then next to it, I put another shelf of littles. So they were pulled into the booth seeing that big piece. And then when they got there, they looked at the little pieces on that wall. So there's really a method to it. I think you're right about your sidewalls are so important at the show. It might not, they may not be as important on the booth shot when you submit because they're harder to see on a booth shot, but they're definitely the most important at the show.
Yeah, the way that you shoot your boost shot is not the, and this is what turned me nuts about it, is that the way you do your boost shot is not the way you can sell, because
Right.
the thing that goes in the back of the boost shot, even you doing a professional layout, uh, doesn't mean it's not going to stop traffic, because your best image is going to be in the back, and it should be in those sidewalls. And then the other thing that I wish that if you do a booth shot and you set up your booth like a gallery, you do it
Hmm.
a deserve to you. Even it looks really, really good. It's not designed to sell. It's not like there's a balance of putting too much and putting too little. And also depends if your pieces is super elaborated with a lot of color. That's one of those booths that I tell people, though, where you have to put less is more,
Right.
because then your eyes cannot focus on anything. But you should have like I would say at least 4 images per wall, uh, at the most. And if they are really busy images, you only have one per wall, because if not, the person cannot focus on what they're looking at.
Right.
And but I was just curious, because I do uh, I did the whole thing with ChatGPT, and it was pretty accurate because I photographed the person, I showed it to the person, and they kind of agree with it. But there's some things that you cannot do because it's not realistic. But um, it does make a difference, I think. But I don't know. I just right now I'm trying to figure out how to sell more. I just came back from Florida, and I think I did half of what I was hoping to make.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, I was all over the board. Uh, at the shows, I make as much as $16,000 in a show, and I slid off $400 in other shows.
Wow,
So
that's a big range. That is a range.
I cannot tell you one way or another one. Uh, but I wish I was more consistent. I would rather have make. I was hoping to make more even numbers, but it was really, really, really bizarre year. And I was thinking it's going to be just a Florida thing. And as the two shows that I did, the one in Atlanta was pretty bad for me, and the one in Chattanooga, Fort Bridges, uh, it was good considering the type of show it was. It's a boutique show, extremely well run, extremely well put together. Um, they feed you, they give you a continental breakfast, they give you a light lunch, and they constantly you can get water and soda and through the day. If you camping, you can bank camp or trailer park your trailer in the area. Um, but it is anything above $1,000. There's some people that will buy it, but there's still not many of those. It's more like $1,000 or less crowd. But it's you cannot say I cannot say anything bad about the show. They run tons of advertising, TV, YouTube, Facebook. There was everywhere you can look. There was something about the show going on. So it was, and people was excited about the show.
That's
Even,
nice.
but yeah, but they don't get they only get maybe 10,000 people walk the show at the most. So, or probably less. But I'm going to tell you, there are more buyers in there than what I saw in Dogwood or Mainsail or any of or Autograph, because it was people generally wanted to see your work, and they was polite about the show. It was nobody was. I didn't hear one single stupid comment.
That's nice.
So,
Mm.
but I would, I would not, I would not just drive for that show. That's the only thing that I would say. You have to pair it up with Dogwood if they are back-to-back weekends. You cannot just do it by himself. And even Dogwood, I'm gonna recommend doing it by himself anymore. You need to pair it with something else. Most people, Dogwood was down considerably. I know a couple of artists that they do really well, and they said the show was down considerably for them.
In Dogwood?
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was not the gay fee or whatever you want to call it. It was people are just not buying enough.
Yeah.
So so that's
Damn,
what you
Oscar, I'm
did last
sorry.
week.
Sorry you had
What?
a down. Sorry you had a down in Florida.
I have a great time. It was a personally it was great. Sales just suck. But you know, uh every time they said, maybe I'm more aware now, but every time it's a Republican in office, my sales go down considerably. Uh, um, and at least this year, I didn't have nobody asking me if I was legal or not legal in the show.
My gosh. You gotta be
So,
kidding me.
no, that happened last year. And people, uh, well, racist comment coming to me. That didn't happen this year neither. So at least
Assholes.
we is well, what's more frustrating is that you tell this to people and then they tell you you're making it up. And I told them, that sounds like other people say to me, like nobody goes to your booth and start knocking your pictures, like I'm knocking in your metal prints.
Yeah.
I do a show in Sarasota, and a person actually did it in front of a bunch of my friends, and they all going like oh my fucking God, what the hell this guy was thinking? So that really happens to you.
Wow.
Yep. Because it's not, that's something that should not be happening,
No.
but it does happen.
Never. And
Like
I
Barry
also
doesn't
think,
like people. What?
I was gonna say, you have to have sort of a tough skin doing art shows, because sometimes you also, like, sometimes I'll sit toward the back of my booth because I have a French wall, and I can sit behind that when I'm like eating a sandwich or something. And you'll hear what people say. And like sometimes it's fantastic and you're glad you heard it. And other times you're just like, move on, get out of my booth. I don't want to hear you, because they'll say
You
something that you're
know,
just like, that is so rude.
no, I think that is expected, and I can deal with that. If they're talking about my work, I have no problem with them saying whatever they want to say. There was a guy in Atlanta say that if I'm going to if I'm going to put photography in my house, it's going to be the stuff that I take. No, somebody, I'm not going to buy artwork photograph for somebody else. That is not personal. That's something that the person thinks that way. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
It's when they start attacking you as a person, as a human being. That's when I have a problem.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
that same problem. Yeah.
Because it's totally, to me, people are going to talk crap about your work no matter where you go. You're not going to be able to please everybody. And your work is your work. You have to be proud of what you do.
Mhm.
And if people buy it, it's a big plus. But but that's part of the gig. You go out there and expose yourself to the crowds to make sure you're making with the hope of selling your work so you can keep producing more work.
Yep.
Because the bottom of the line, if you're not making money, there's no point to keep producing the work, right?
That's right.
Right.
And that's just me. You guys can do whatever the hell you want. If you all guy want to retire and it's less competition for me,
That's right.
less. So I think that everybody that's not me should stop doing shows.
Yeah, but then they would only have one artist per show. I don't think the audience would keep going.
Oh,
They
they will
love,
come
I
because
think
my
the
work will be so.
audiences love to, there you go.
They will be
You
so
have 200
fascinated
booths
about
of
my
your
work.
work.
Yeah, they will say like,
Mhm.
"Oh, we know how to go through hundreds of other artists just to come back to buy your stuff. So this is how we do it." You see,
Right.
I'm so full of it. Very fall
You know
asleep.
what's weird? I think when you try to stick out, Oscar, like when you try to
Uh,
get noticed, sometimes when you're in a show that only has 100 exhibitors and maybe 10,000 people that come, sometimes it's easier to get noticed than a show that like Ann Arbor, you know?
St.
Like
James.
obviously there's a lot of people going by in Ann Arbor, but when I attended Ann Arbor last summer just to go see it, I didn't show. I just went up with my sister lives nearby and I thought, well, that'd be easy. I could stay with her and just jump in for the show. And she has a friend that actually has a big house in Ann Arbor, said we could stay there. So we did, and we went to look at the show, and I just felt like there were a lot of artists that weren't getting seen. There was some very cool stuff there, but it was mixed with a lot of other stuff too.
But
So
you know,
I don't know how
the
easy
thing
it is to
is,
get seen.
this is the thing that I personally think is that some shows put the show and they want to put a big show where a show should be a boutique show. And some people put a boutique show where they can put a big show. But like
Yeah.
for example, the reason why South Carolina Greenville Artisphere works so well is because it's they maintain it like a boutique show, and they get tons of people walking in there, and it's enough people to support the show and everybody to walk out of there happy. I think that they make the show bigger. Uh, I don't know if the sales will be there to make everybody happy. Uh, Ann Arbor, for example, or St. James Square, those shows used to be that people will come from different states just to see the show and walk the show. And most of the time, when you if you shipping stuff out, you will notice a lot of stuff is just Michigan. People are not coming from other states necessarily to see that show. It's losing its luster, but it is a big show now, and they kind of make it smaller anymore. And then I don't know about St. James because I've not done it in a long time, but St. James is uh,
That's a big show.
it's a big show for a blue collar town, which
Yeah.
is I don't think it's not necessarily a good idea to do.
Exactly.
But so,
Although
but
we've had great sales there.
yeah, you get. I don't say that you cannot get good sales in some of those shows, but you have to, sometimes we go, oh, I got into say Fort Worth, for example,
Yep.
and everybody's jumping up and down because they go to Fort Worth, and just there are some people with money in the area, and you will sell big pieces here and there, but the bottom of the line, when you talk to people, they always will tell you it's a volume show. And,
A
Hard
lot of
to
small pieces. Yeah.
you know, so
show.
it's kind of, you really need to do your homework before you apply to the show and figure out what to do. And some shows you want to do just for doing it, what the hell. But
Well, I always say I have two categories, that are very different from what they have on Zapplication. It's like a low risk, low budget show. So, like, if I know somebody nearby, like a friend or relative that can let me stay there, uh, or I might want to visit that area in the summertime anyway, then that's pretty low risk because I wouldn't have to spend a ton of money on housing other than the application fee and the booth fee. But if it's like a long distance, a high expensive hotel, and I don't know anyone there, it has to have a really good reputation for what I'm selling. You know what I mean? Like you have to weigh your pros and cons for every single show based on yourself,
and
what you want to accomplish.
and I think the other thing that most artists, well, I don't know if most artists are thinking about it, but more, I was, I wish that the people put in the show. Sometimes I think about this. It's like you put in the show, you're doing a great event, you think you're doing everything right, but are you bringing the right buyers for the people to buy work? Are you giving? Do you know the demographic of your area? It would be nice if they post that in the application. This is the kind of people that come here to this show. Uh, because sometimes you go to an area and the show doesn't support high ticket items, or they don't, or opposite, they don't want to buy cheap stuff, they want to buy high ticket items. So you prepare your booth based on that, uh, instead of having 70% high end expensive stuff. Maybe you have 70% low end with 30% high end, or vice versa. Um, but we don't get that information, and it's all about fill up the show, make money for the show, and walk away. And if the artists make money and not make money, that's the problem. And the end of the day, if the artists are not making money, you're going to start losing artists. And we talk to each other, and sooner or later, you don't have people coming into the shows anymore, and it becomes a flea market, and then the show dies. Um,
That's why
this
it surprised me looking into all the Florida shows that you were talking about. So many of those Florida shows have been there 50, 60, 70 years. So do they ever close a show in Florida? Like, evidently they're just making more.
they, the promoter seems to be the ones that close the show, but like at Naples Art Center, uh, they had three shows, um, and it's three different crowd. The New Year's, you don't never knows what you're going to get. The second year, the second one is the better one of the because you get a mix of type of people. The third one is mostly people that live in Florida year round. Uh, and that's basically any show in March outside of Winter Park. That's where you're going to get people that live in Florida year round. January, January, you start getting some of the people that come for the winter, but not necessarily is all of them. The best month to go to Florida is February, I think, well, because that's when you get the most. But the problem is that some shows don't know how to adjust to the reality that we live in right now. Like one thing that as much I don't like him, uh, he did with Bonita this year. He eliminated 20, 30 artists of the show, because the reality is that the Bonita is more a boutique show now than anything else. Uh, because they don't get the traffic to sustain that many people. So he's trying to change the layout, condense the amount of people in the show, and maybe in a few years from now the show will be great. But right now it's not that great. If people from Naples don't come to the show, the Molina show is not that great. Uh, Fort Myers has their own problems, uh, and they just, and since Sharon's not running the show anymore, it might be interesting. Adigra has a serious layout problem, but that's nothing to do with the people that you interact. It's more the people that run the show, the people above them that tell what to do, not to do. Um, Boca this year just run out of with bad weather, and the other shows, every single show has its things. I cannot tell you if Coco Negro was great or not, because I was not there this year. I know this well run, but from what I heard, it's a big that, and the artists that I talked, they're trying to make it an art show similar to Art Basel, and I don't know if that's going to work or not. So, but that's what the way that they're talking about it right now,
Which show is that,
which is
Oscar?
Coconut Grove.
Coconut Grove.
Right.
Yeah.
Trying to make it Art Basel.
What is
So
that?
I don't know if that's good or bad. Figure that one yourself. And what else I can tell you? And but every single, you can do shows with Howard Allen. He always gets the people in there. Paragon is always good because the shows are small, boutique, low traffic, but they got buyers in there. Um, Blue Ribbon, whatever is that company, do not touch the shows. They are probably the worst promoter in Florida right now. Patty, I will just do the Boca Raton Museum, the Boca Raton show, and she has one more that people start talking about now, but I cannot tell you one way or another because I don't do that many shows with her. Uh, and but you know, it's a and a weekend, any given weekend, there can be at least 2, 3 shows going on in Florida. But keep in mind, it's the state of Florida. It's not the city of Philadelphia or Chicago or New York. It's the whole state.
Right,
So
but I
Right.
think to your point that you started with earlier, like certain parts of Florida are more expensive to vacation and live in, and those would be the parts where their shows maybe have the more deep pocket buyers. And if you're at some of the other parts of Florida, you might want to have a mix of lower end, you know, some of your lower end
correct.
products.
I would say that if you do anything in the Miami
Have a great
area,
day. Bye.
Miami or Naples, you really want to have high end stuff and big stuff. Every
Okay.
other area you want to just have a mix because you don't know
Yeah,
what you're
that's
going to
good
get,
advice.
you know. But Naples is definitely
Especially on the Gulf side. I mean, I know a lot of people that live on the Gulf side, and there's definitely a mix of incomes there. Whereas the
yeah.
Miami area it's expensive, but they also have very high end stuff in Miami.
But here's one thing that I was discussing with Court, like the gate fee is, say this, let's call it $30, right? I think it's more or less. I don't know exactly what it is, but he was saying like that's not that much money for the people who live in there. And I thought let's compare Miami to Chicago. And here's basically what we came out. The people in Chicago get paid 20% more than the people that live in Miami. The housing in Chicago is 20% cheaper than Miami. Therefore, the people in Chicago have more money than the people in Miami.
Because they have more disposable income, you're saying.
Yeah, because their living expenses is 20% less and they make 20% more than the people in Miami. So
But there's also that sticker shock mentality where if you charge $35 to get in the door in Chicago, they're going to freak out, because that's
well,
not typical. And in Miami, Art Basel, when I went to Art Basel, it was $69 to get in the door.
I think the people
So
in Chicago will not
35
be
doesn't sound that much.
I think people in Chicago will not be shocked with $50 getting in or anything like that. Hey, we pay $50 just to park.
Yeah.
So it's $50 is just like you go out, you're going to be spending at least a couple of $100.
Yeah.
So,
I
it's not as bad as people think compared to other cities, but that's just me looking, and I'm not going to tell anybody how to run the shows, how to do the shows. I just basically, I'm in a situation that I really need to think about what I'm doing and what shows I need to do, which shows I shouldn't be doing.
right.
So, but I don't tell people, it's about, I would just wish that we have more information to make better choices.
Yeah, it's weird. Like on Zapplication, you can find out how many artists apply and how many get juried in, but very rarely do they tell you how many people attend the show. Like not even a ballpark.
No,
That'd be
they
really
do.
nice.
They do.
On
They,
Zap, I looked
yeah.
through so many applications on Zap and I
Yeah, but
couldn't find
that
how many
number is
people.
always made up. Unless they charge admission,
Yeah,
they have no way to know.
that's true.
And in Carmel, Indiana, the Carmel Life Fair, they tag the phones in the area, in the show area. Like they know exactly how many people walk the show because of your cell phone.
Right.
The only way that they would know that you're not there during that time is your cell phone is off. So they know where they park, where people park, and they know everything because of your cell phone. And I
Yeah,
didn't
they
know that
should
until
know.
last year. Until
Yeah.
last year, I didn't know that people can do that. So,
All good stuff.
yeah. So Barry, what's new with you? You're quiet over there, falling asleep,
I am
showing your
falling
age.
asleep. I'm tired.
Oh, you've been back home for a few months now,
Yeah.
Time to go to
and
sleep.
you haven't done any new work yet.
Well, you can't see it. It's behind me and to the side.
And you're going to glaze it purple again?
Blue, baby. I got enough purple. I got enough
You
purple.
miss
It's blue.
you missed that conversation, Oscar. We did the blue thing on him. We talked him into blue.
Oh, you're talking him into blue? He asked me yesterday. I told him he has to do blue and green. Those are the only two colors
Yep.
Yep, blue and
touch.
green.
And
Everything
add
else,
black too.
yeah, everything else just take a hammer and just make mosaics out of them.
That's at the end of the show, like the last hour. I'll take the hammer out and break every piece.
Oh,
I don't know.
hey, at
Hey,
least
what?
the last two shows I'm trying to get rid of for these pieces, Barry.
Yeah.
I'm telling people you can have for 50% off.
Yeah.
And I would say about 8 pieces. Only 2 people took advantage of that.
That's
How bad those issues are. That's horrible.
80% off. Well, it's like retail. It's like I ran a store once. Well, anyway, that's what you do. If the stuff doesn't sell, it's dead weight because you're carrying it around. Look at it as money, so it's money that you can't. So getting something that is twofold. You get rid of
Make me
it.
an offer.
You get rid of it,
Make me an offer. Come on.
and then you get rid of it, and then you can buy more materials and make new pieces that don't sell.
I give them to a friend that does a garage sale and mark them down 10, $20 because I feel like
That's
they don't
nothing.
come to these art.
That's
They
not
don't. I know, but they don't come
that's
to
not
the
a
art
markdown.
festival to see sale items. They don't. They come to
80%.
see your newest stuff. They want to see your new stuff.
It's not the thing is like I got an idea in my mind what I want to do in my booth, but I need $5,000 to burn, and that's a lot of money. And I think that most people want to do something new, but if you don't have the money to do it, or you're thinking about, well, I need to sell this stuff because I don't have the room for doing these things. What I'm going to do with these things? Because if not, you end with a warehouse of stuff that you didn't sell through the years, and even if and sometimes you try to give it away, people don't want it. You know.
That's
Well,
that's really funny.
sometimes you have to take your what I call my dogs and find a show to do them with, and it might be just a really
That's really
mom
funny.
and pop small show and just take it down there. I used to go to an Arkansas show with all the stuff I wanted to get rid of when I had my t-shirt business, and I would mark boxes half price, and I sold through every bit of the inventory that I didn't want. And that was great because it was just dead money. But I would never do that at an upscale show, you know?
So, Barry, got a question for you. Do you
Yeah,
think if I take I put in a bunch of black and white of the people for the art shows, but I never got into the shows with those. Do
yeah.
you think if I bring it to Ann Arbor, I'll be able to get rid of them?
To sell them?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? You have to take away the quality versus selling. Like those are your. It's just more about the crowd and the jurying and everything that your best pieces don't sell. The most meaningful pieces don't sell. And then something where you just get a lot of color and you sell that stuff. See, that's how I look at it anyway. So, it'd be great to be able to sell your best stuff and be happy about it, but it doesn't work that way. But
You know, a girl actually asked me this weekend which image is stuck in my mind the most. And I was looking at my booth and I'm going like, really nothing in here. That's that's what I was just thinking.
You know,
Because
I happen to like journalistic photography. Photography that says something and captures a moment. And I'm not really happy with this artwork that doesn't say anything and isn't, because what's your point? What's the point? Anybody can throw a bunch of paint on a canvas, and swirl it around. I mean, anybody can do that. Just, you know, like, so to me, that would be boring. But the photography that captures a moment and makes you think, unfortunately, hey, it's America. And it's an art fair. You're not getting those people. So, I mean, well,
yeah,
you
it's just like
can,
she
you
It's
was
know.
like
she was asking me about
Cartier-Bresson.
it. I thought,
See, I like those to me, those are your best pieces because it makes you think. But
that's what
Oscar, you can be charming. Try and be charming.
charming. I don't think the charming will help me with those people.
Wait,
No,
listen.
they
Well,
don't let
no.
me into the.
Wait a minute. Somebody comes in and they look at them, and you talk them up. You talk it up. You go, yeah, those pieces have a lot of meaning to me. I really like them. You can sell the pieces by explaining it like that, and people will buy it.
I know.
You be charming.
Barry. I
I,
got to try.
you know what I thought? I'd like to switch booths. You sell my work, and I'll sell your work. We'll see. We'll see who does
Oh,
better.
the problem is that I think you only will sell one piece of mine, and when you come back, I will have sold out all your booth.
I won't. No, I wouldn't sell any of your pieces because they suck. But and that's what
Oh,
I'd tell people. I'd say, yeah, this stuff sucks. You don't want to buy it.
oh, that's how you approach your booth.
There is pressure. I mean, if I was in somebody's booth and I was taxed with selling it, I'd really want to sell it because there's pressure. What do you mean you didn't sell any of my pieces? I tried. Listen,
Oh,
it reminds me, like, I did a show once and a friend of mine came by and I was complaining that I wasn't selling anything. And he goes, He says, "Well, let me sell it." He goes, I'm a great salesman." So I walked away for a period of time, and he goes, "Yeah, it's a really tough crowd. He couldn't sell anything." So, you know, you don't take it personally, or you take it personally and you go, "There's a bunch of idiots." You got to make yourself feel good, and there's truth to that. I mean, really, you can only take so much abuse or so much negativity before you get too weird.
Mm.
Like, look at the work.
Oh, it kills Marianne when somebody walks up and says, I see a cat and I see a dog. And it's like, wow, you have a better imagination than we do. Are you kidding me?
Oh no, Roy. Then you become Professor Roy and you analyze their mental state.
Yeah. Well, if it speaks to you, I can wrap it up for you.
Speaks. Yeah, it's barking. That word's barking.
Does it remind you of your pet? Because I think that's great. And you know what? You can take it home and you can have it forever and you'll always see your pet Sparky in there.
I never say anything like that.
Or
Like that.
I, you know,
put it
when
on the
people say
floor
that
and let him
image is
pee on
really
it.
cool, I just tell them actually it would be awesome in your house. And they told me they would look amazing in your house.
I've
And
said that
they
before.
suddenly start walking away.
I tell them that I've looked in their window and the piece would be perfect on that wall. I've said that. I mean, what are you going to say?
And we can deliver it tonight.
Oh no, as I draw the line there. I'm not delivering it. Take it home and hang it up yourself. Here, I'll give you Oscar's card. He specializes in hanging artwork.
All right, guys, I gotta go.
Well, Larry, have a good time. I will talk
Larry,
to you
thank
next
you.
week.
I'm not going anywhere. I gotta go feed Elvis.
Well, I know. Elvis, be good.
Well,
Bye.
everybody
Bye.
have a good night, and we'll see
All
you next
right.
week.
All
All
right,
right.
bye.
Oscar, I might call you later.
Bye.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks
Bye,
for the
guys.
warning.
Yeah, there you go.
I always